Hi, my name's Robert. I'm one of the anaesthetic PHOs at Rockhampton Hospital. I'm currently undertaking independent training with the Australian and New Zealand College of Anaesthetists.
My name is Ben Jackley. I'm one of the anaesthetic registrars at the Rockhampton Hospital.
My name is Dr. Stephen Hocken and I'm an anaesthetics registrar as part of Rockhampton Hospital.
So my interest in anaesthetics was sparked by placements as a medical student on electives working with anaesthetists in pre-hospital care. I also had experience working in theatre and I was always highly interested in the procedural nature of the job.
I was influenced by the Flying Doctors Service and the way that they were able to manage resuscitations and intubations of patients. That pushed me down the line of an interest in anaesthetics.
I was an intensive care nurse before I was a doctor, and so I've loved looking after really sick patients. And I love the pace of anaesthetics. You get to focus on one human and get to look after everything about them, and keep them alive despite very difficult circumstances while unnatural things are being done to them, such as surgery. And it's an incredible job and I love it. You do make really strong connections with other specialists and other training registrars. So we go out on weekends and we spend time in each other's lives, and it's really, it's unique. It's not something I've experienced before. It's very rewarding. I love it.
One of the benefits of working within a regional community is that you often feel that you are a part of the community. And this is important, I think, for taking responsibility for your professionalism as well. And being more actively involved in the community in general.
I'm able to have a really good life where I work during the day and still have time to be able to get home and go see my family. I'm not stuck in the hospital for all hours of the night. And so I really get to find a good balance between my work life and my home life that I think I would struggle in other centres.
I've got a young family, so Rockhampton suits us beautifully. My kids' school is just down the road from the hospital, so on the odd occasion I can finish work a little bit early and go and pick her up from school. Yapoon's just down the road. It's a 45-minute drive away, and you've got world-class, incredible tropical beaches that you can visit. The parks here are phenomenal, they really are. And yeah, there's just things that you take for granted in a bigger city that you wouldn't expect a regional centre would have. They're all here.
The thing I enjoy about regional anaesthetics is it allows you to come across a wide variety of cases. We are able to work with kids. We also work with maternity patients, and we have specialties including ENT and urology on site as well.
Working regionally in anaesthesia, you get to do a lot more hands-on than what you would in a bigger centre. And so while we may be a little bit limited in what surgical specialties we offer, the procedures you get to do within what we offer are much higher.
Being able to take care of critically unwell patients who, for instance, someone gets flown in on a chopper up into the helipad and you get to meet them in emergency and take care of them. You get to support them while they have major surgery, and then you get to see them next day on the pain round and see them alive and well, and it's incredibly rewarding.
The advantages of training regionally for the Australian and New Zealand College of Anaesthetists is that it allows you to ideally secure an independent training spot, which might not be available in larger tertiary centres. The workload and work volume is likely more manageable as a junior trainee as well. And it also is a very friendly, supportive environment.
In Rockhampton, they have PHO positions that are not really offered in a lot of other hospitals, which allow you to get some hands-on. I did some practice doing intubations and doing spinal blocks on patients, which in other hospitals you may not get that opportunity, or you may be competing with a lot of other people to get that opportunity.
The fact that there are anaesthetic PHOs, so unaccredited registrar trainees essentially, is very rare in Brisbane, and there's quite a few of them up here. So moving regionally and being able to take those positions is a massive leg up for you when you're trying to get on the program. And again, you get to do all the things that an anaesthetics registrar would get to do. So you get basically a taste of whether this career is right for you.
You get to see the way that you would manage problems in a resource-limited environment. There are some very, very capable people here who have done things in ways that you may not do in a bigger centre because you have access to different tools or different specialties. So you're able to really fine-tune your fundamentals and make sure that your basic practice is very good before you move on to other things.
You have to do a regional rotation as part of the anaesthetics training program in Queensland. So you are required to do it here. So training here means that you tick off that requirement. Beyond that, you get a really well-rounded training right at the beginning when you really need it. So when you move on and train in bigger hospitals, you have that experience already. You've seen some of these things before, and so they're not as scary because you're seeing them again rather than the first time.
Applying to the Australian New Zealand College of Anaesthetists as a trainee is a competitive process. By looking around early and it's trying to secure a position as a PHO or even as a resident at a training site is important. And through this, you can meet people who will be able to give you more information on the training program requirements.
Because critical care and anaesthetics specifically is so sought after, every person wants the job that you want. And you're usually competing with people who are very self-motivated, very driven to get on, so you really need to work for it. To become an anaesthetist, you will need to apply for fellowship with the Australian and New Zealand College of Anaesthetists. Fellowship is a 5-year full-time training pathway consisting of 4 training periods. So there's introductory training, which is the first 6 months, basic training, which goes over the subsequent 18 months, advanced training, which is an additional 24 months, and then provisional fellowship training, which covers the final 12-month period. Prerequisite entry requirements include general medical registration with the Medical Board of Australia. You need to be a citizen of Australia or New Zealand, or you need to have permanent residency within Australia. You need 2 years of pre-vocational medical education and training. The earliest year of entry is PGY 3, and that includes at least 12 months of training in areas other than anaesthetics or intensive care. You need a secured registrar position in an accredited training department via the Queensland Resident Medical Officer Campaign, or RMO campaign. There is a 2-stage process to becoming an anaesthesia trainee. The first is the application to the college, which can occur at the end of your postgrad year 1 or PGY 1, or on completion of 52 weeks of pre-vocational medical training. Selection into the ANZCA program is based on your written application, addressing the selection criteria and CV, an interview, and supporting referee reports. The second stage is registration, which occurs once a trainee has secured a training position within an ANZCA accredited department. The Queensland Anaesthetic Rotational Training Scheme, known as QARTS, is the state-sponsored body responsible for the overall recruitment and administration of the placement process. QARTS works closely with Queensland Health, therefore prospective trainees need to apply for a training position through the RMO campaign. Once you've secured the training position through the RMO campaign, you can then apply for registration with ANZCA and commence your training.
Anyone who has an interest in coming to Rockhampton to study anaesthesia or specialty training here, it is a wonderful environment to be with, a great team here, that you get a lot of exposure to procedures and you get a lot that you're able to do. I think if you have an interest in it, it's very, very beneficial to your application to have that experience. So if you want to, come here. It's a great place to be.
Rockhampton is an incredible place to work. You get opportunities you would not get in a major city hospital, and it's a place that you can really progress your anaesthetic career from a very early stage. You get opportunities that you would not get in the city. So I would highly recommend coming here. It's fantastic.